Bishop Hartley High School, all right, known for football. But this time, man, we're going to change the platform a little bit, man. We got one of the best basketball players in the state of Ohio, a young man whose name, it rings bells around here on the summer circuit, right now in
Especially
high school.
In the fall league, for sure.
Absolutely, man. This is a legitimate prospect out there to play on the next level, and that is Morgan Safford from Bishop Hartley. Morgan, man, welcome to the show. Good morning. How you doing today, man?
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Doing good.
All right, man. Zach, man, go ahead.
All right, Morgan, we're going to get straight into last night. What happened in that game? What are your thoughts on how it went? And, what did you see from DeSales in that matchup yesterday?
I think we improved a lot, especially handling pressure. Like, against South, we struggled a little bit handling pressure, but I think DeSales trapping us a lot. We did a lot better with that. So I think we improved. We got our team chemistry is getting better. And like you said earlier in the show, like, we're a second half team, like in the second half of the season. So I think now we're just trying to get our football players together, learn everything. So I think we'll start moving towards tournament time.
And then this is the first time that you've been the guy. Last year you had Garrett, and the year prior you had Garrett kind of being the leader on the team. How has your role changed this year, and what are some differences you're seeing in just how you have to lead and, talk to your teammates and just get the team in order?
I think, since we have a lot of younger guys that's trying to come in, people that haven't played varsity a lot, it's just me teaching them how things goes and just being a good, positive leader and always being there to pick up the pieces, like when stuff doesn't go as planned or as well. So I think it's just me just being always there to, encourage them and congratulate them when good things happen.
All right, I like to find out about young people, how it started. Where did this passion, this love come from? So, Morgan, man, I want to take you back, man, to a young man, young Tyler out there. Where did the love of basketball come from? Were there other sports involved? Did you play baseball, football, or was this always, has this been a dream from a young man? You get the basketball in your hands, and this is how you want to move forward.
I think when I was younger, I was a great baseball player. That was my first love. But I just decided to choose basketball, and I always think my dad started it. I started young, he played, so I always looked up to him. So, but now I'm just in love with basketball, and this is what I want to do going forward.
Talk to me a little bit about baseball. We see young men I'm gonna just go to the pros here, but we see Patrick Mahomes, whose dad was a baseball player. He has this incredible arm, but he transitioned that to football. Just talk about the sport of baseball. What did you like? What did you not like as much as somebody that's now on the basketball court and you just up and down the court and dunking and layups and everything like that? Talk about the similarities and the differences.
I think baseball is a strategy game sometimes. So I like that, and especially with basketball, it correlates. But I think sometimes when I was playing baseball, especially being outfield, it was really boring. So I
I played outfield too, man. So you can go a whole game and the ball not get hit to you.
Yeah, so I just had to find something that was fun, and I didn't like football because I didn't like getting hit. So I just decided something that was fun for me.
You should have kept with baseball. Were you a righty or lefty when you were
I was definitely righty.
You were righty. So there's a short porch there in about left center field at Hartley. I played there probably 10 times growing up. But no, that's cool, man. We don't run into a lot of guys who play baseball anymore, especially on the basketball side. So it's good to see someone, obviously you play basketball only now, but I didn't know that about you. So that's always, a reason we get kids up here and we learn things about people we didn't know. So
absolutely.
That's really cool. I've really enjoyed watching you the last couple of years.
Thank you.
You dominated our fall league, scored probably 400 points in the last 2 seasons. What was it like this year, just putting up the numbers that you did in that fall league? Was it just different from anything you've experienced, or what was your mentality going into all those games?
I think this year I just had a different mentality, a more chip on my shoulder, because I didn't play a lot in the spring, so people kind of doubted me or put me behind other players. So I just felt like I had to prove myself once again. So I just put that chip back on my shoulder and said, "Let's grind."
Let me piggyback off the fall league, okay? When you get into high school, everybody splits into their divisions, Division 1, Division 2, and so forth and so on. What is it like? Was Zach, when he provides this platform to have all the best players in the area right there in one gymnasium, and you can test your skills against the other really good players, the Dominic Penns, the CJ Anthonys, the Von Cameron Davises of the world? How do what is that feeling when you get a chance to say, hey, I'm one of these guys too?
I think it's a great feeling, especially like a lot of them are my friends, testing my skills that I worked a lot over the summer against. So it's like a testing ground for like what you're going into the season, how hard you really worked over the summer.
That's for sure. For you, is you brought it every week, so we do appreciate your consistency and your commitment to the league. But off the court, I was watching the news last Sunday night.
I was
I'm on
it,
NBC4
for sure.
on the couch with my wife. She's like, "Hey, there's Morgan," and I look up, and sure enough, Morgan Safford giving out meals to people in need. So just explain what did you guys do this weekend, and what has been your impact and role within that organization for the last 10 years or so.
So like we give like toys to like, especially like around the holiday season, to kids that are less fortunate than I am or my team. Like we provide them meals that will last them through like the holiday season. So I think I just been involved with my mother since probably like 10 years ago, since she started doing this. And I just think like as a Christian, it's like kind of my obligation to give back to the community because God has given so much to me. So I think that's what I have to do in this world.
Just talk about having an impact in the community. When you can go out and provide things to the less fortunate, how does that make you feel inside, just knowing like, hey, I have this thing that I love over here, basketball and sports, but having an opportunity to give back to the community, just talk about what that makes you feel like on the inside.
It just like gives me like butterflies, and like I'm happy inside because like when you go to like those people's houses and give them stuff, like, and you see the smile on the kid's face because they might not have a Christmas, so like when they see them smiles and they just get happy that they finally get a toy. So yeah.
That's awesome.
It is, man.
That's
definitely.
awesome. We appreciate that. That takes a lot of selflessness. So it's great to see kids involved early and being fortunate for what they have and giving back. So congratulate you with that platform that your mom has helped you provide, and you're great on the news too. So you had a good interview. If I was 17 and I had a news camera in my face, I probably wouldn't be as sharp as you were. So shout out to you for that.
Yeah, let's just if we can go back into basketball a little bit, I kind of just want to talk about Hartley, just a school. Just talk about I have. But I like to make all you guys do, or young ladies, is a PSA just about education, okay? You're going to have the opportunity to play basketball at the next level, and it's only because of what kind of student you are, and that is really, what's giving you, outside of your play, but great play without grades. We see how some of those young people can get left behind. Just talk about how important education is, what Hartley provides you, from a school perspective in that way, and just some of your coaches and teammates.
I think education is probably the most important thing that you can have. Like my mom always tells me, like once you get that degree, nobody can take that piece of paper away from you. So I feel like that's why I always put a statement in on my education. You see nowadays a lot of kids going one and done, and I said if I ever get that opportunity, I said I'm gonna stay all 4 years just to get my degree. And I think at Hartley they provide probably one of the best educations around. In Central High, I'm challenged on a day-to-day basis, whether it's with classmates, teachers. I think we have some of the brightest minds as well to go along with it. And I think, especially my teammates, my teammates are some really smart people. And, so, they push me to get better in class. We always talk, when we're playing basketball, we always talk about, what's going on in school. Man, this teacher, they're struggling right now in this class. I got to get this grade up. So I think that environment growing up, especially going through high school, really helps me for the future.
Absolutely, for sure. CCL education is never easy. How do you feel that the classes you're taking and the teachers you're surrounded with are preparing you for college on an academic standpoint?
I just feel like they're preparing me. Hartley's a college prep school, so I feel like they're preparing me the best. This year, I'm taking a lot of harder classes to get me ready for college. I'm in AP Gov, and I think that's one of my hardest classes. Because it's every day we're sitting here looking at a trial or something that happens in government, and sometimes it gets tricky, but with the teachers that they're always there to help. Hartley is very helpful, and the teachers and the students are always there to pick you up when you need the help.
I do want to ask you that. So in any kind of sport, everybody works on their craft over the summer. I need to work on my dribbling, or I need to work on my jump shot. Let's stay on education for a minute. How have you developed your habits from a freshman to where you are now to be able to take the AP classes and get you prepared for the next level? Because that's going to be even different challenge.
I think as a freshman, like, I didn't know what was going on. Like, as a maybe like a 14-year-old playing varsity, like, it was hard to juggle like academics and playing at the same time. So I think over the years I learned a lot better with time management and asking for help. Like, I think sometimes people are scared to ask for help, but I think that's one of like my biggest attributes that helped me is asking for help when I need it.
That is key. I mean, a lot of kids in college, myself especially, like when I was in high school, it was easy. And I got to college and I was scared to ask for help and ask questions to my professors because I was a little intimidated by them. So for you to have that quality now, it's going to serve you well, especially at the next level, because when you go to college, you're going to have professors that have done amazing things and they want to share everything that they know with you. So to have that quality now is really good, for you as a student going forward. But on the basketball side, if there's any college coaches that are watching this, how would you describe Morgan Safford for someone who doesn't know who you are?
I think like on this side, like I'm a goofy like kid. I'm still a child at heart. Like I enjoy having fun, but I know when it's time to put down the stuff and put down the childish things and get to business, like and handle my stuff. Like that's what I'm most good at. So like that's what I would describe Morgan Safford. He's a goofy kid, but he knows when to put the hard work in.
Business lights. I like that. Let's hashtag that, business lights. All right. So I want to ask you two things, okay? We talked about the academic piece and how you have progressed from a freshman to a senior. Take me on the basketball court. Same thing. Tell me about freshman year and what have you developed? What are you most proud about where your game is now that you've seen it come from where you were as a freshman?
As a freshman, like I just had a role like getting the 30 points, playing defense, getting easy points. But I think now I've changed into more like I'm that guy or the go-to person. I just feel like I've worked on my craft so hard, and I feel like I'm just a scorer. Like I can score on all three levels, driving, mid-range, three. So I just feel like I developed all parts of my game through past 4 years.
For you, this year you're kind of the primary ball handler for Hartley. What's that change been like, really being the point guard for them this year? Have you noticed anything different from the way defenses are approaching you and just basically how the games are going?
I think a lot like teams normally face guard me, so it's easier me being that point to get the ball in my hands and get other teammates involved. So I think as point guard this year, like I'm more focused on getting everybody involved as first and then worrying about myself. So that's how I feel like it's helped my game so I can do both going towards the next level.
All right, this has been great, man. I want to thank you again for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I just want to ask, just going forward, okay? This is your senior year. I know you want to make a mark, leaving Hartley as well. What is Hartley going to have to do as a basketball team? Who are some of your teammates that are going to have to step up for you guys to make a deep run when we get to this tournament later on in the year?
I feel like we can make a really deep run, especially this year. Like we have some good seniors. Like we're starting all seniors this year, so we have good leadership. Like Peyton Collins coming back, especially like he gained a lot of weight for football, so we just had to get him back in in basketball shape. And like we got some good wings like Braylon Mitchell, Ryan Huser, and Chase is coming back from starting this year. And we got Jordan back finally from not playing basketball for 2 years. So just getting him back in basketball mode, and especially some young guys like coming off the bench. Like we have Coach's son Kylan Quarter-Craggs and PJ Daniels. Like I think we just gotta get everybody's confidence on the same level and just worry about us right now, and then we'll worry about the tournament run later.
And then Hartley in the second half of the season, like we mentioned earlier, it's a different team from probably December. What can teams expect from Bishop Hartley, coming, once those football guys are back in shape? How do you think this team's going to change in the second half of the year?
I think we're just going to be a better group of teammates. We're going to learn. We put in a new offense, so I think we'll run our offense a lot better. Defenses, we're going to get up and down. We're starting to push the ball more, so I think we're going to be a threat in all levels, going to play defense, offense, and we're just going to try to wear you down physically.
All right. I always like to end the segment. I want you to shout out the people who have helped you get to this point. No one gets anywhere by themselves. So, your mom is here today. You have an outstanding support system. So just talk about that, man, not only from Hartley, some of the people you want to shout out there, your friends, maybe those not on the basketball court, and family members, all the people that you love. I
want to shout out first my mother. I love my mom. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for her. That's my rock and my road dog. I also want to shout out my boys, the Snappers. Those are my homies, and just my family. Those are my I'm a big family guy, so I'm always surrounded by good people.
That's awesome. Well, shout out to you, Morgan. We appreciate you coming on and
Thank you.
taking the time. Tell your dad I said what's up.
I will.
He tells me he was one of the best City League ballers in the 70s. So I see the talent has been passed down to you. So it's great having you on. Another excellent interview. I mean, my favorite part about these interviews is getting these young men on and having them talk about things outside of just basketball. Because we know these guys as the basketball players that we are, but I think a lot of times the individuals of these kids gets lost in the shuffle. So do appreciate you coming on. You got great head on your shoulders and great support system. So your parents have done an excellent job, raising you to the young man that you are now.
Thank you.
We have no doubt that you're going to be extremely successful going forward.
Thank you.
Hey, we appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming on. That was Morgan Safford of Hartley. Again, one of the best basketball players, one of the best young men, not only in this area, but in the entire state of Ohio, man. So that was a pleasure.